This girl's name is Fang Ning. She's the heiress and CEO of the Deersing Group. She comes from a noble family, is beautiful, and has amazing talent. Anyone who has ever met her is completely captivated by her. You can see that becoming her husband would be like being in heaven. The bride walked over to the groom. While he was putting the ring on her finger, she threw the bouquet, causing him to fall into her arms, and then she grabbed the mic and shouted, "Ling Rui, you're mine tonight. You're even more obsessed with me than I am. This is the reason anyway." 2 weeks ago, this powerful woman, she could walk into her office, listen to her assistant, ER Fan, report on work and her daily schedule, and still notice even the smallest flaws on the street she just walked past. And the last thing on her schedule was that her mom wanted to know which day this week she was free for an arranged marriage. But, being the kind of person she is, she didn't answer. She went straight to the meeting and said, "I want to launch a new brand called Infinity." She had people researching the market for the past year, and there have been many positive reactions. It seems that the 16 major shareholders in the company weren't too happy about it, but they couldn't really say anything or change her mind. One person with a very high position was absent from the meeting because she had just given birth to a baby. Fang Ning decided to visit the hospital, bringing a lot of diapers for the baby. She asked ER Fan to take a picture of them together looking close, which surprised ER Fan, who asked if she had developed a split personality. She knew why Fang Ning was there. Fang Ning was the kind of person who didn't like the idea of a woman having to follow society's rules, getting married, and having children. Seeing this, the shareholder said, "If Fang Ning is here, please watch the baby so she can go outside and smell the coffee." The baby was crying in the room, and Fang Ning, who was initially indifferent, quickly became flustered and started looking for something to soothe the baby. Then, a handsome man arrived, teaching her how to hold and calm the baby. He told her to make the baby feel safe. Fang Ning stood next to him, dazed and lost, probably already dreaming of them having children together. He asked her if she wanted to pet the baby, and she shook her head and refused. He said to her, "Are you that scared of a little baby?" and then put the baby down. Both of them looked at the baby and then up at each other, like they wanted to kiss. 4 eyes met, and he felt it wasn't right, so he got up and left. Seeing this, Fang Ning left a black card for the baby and left too. The baby's mom refused to go after her to return it. Then, my Fang Ning ran into my man's room while he was changing, and she stood there watching. Suddenly, the phone in her hand rang, and he realized someone was in the room. After finishing the call, she pulled a chair and sat down, saying she wanted him to continue. He asked, "You still want to watch?" He pushed his chair closer and asked, "Do you know this is my office?" She took the opportunity to look around, and then told him, "Perhaps it's fate that I entered your office." She was about to get his number when Peng Bo walked in and announced that there were some things Ling Rui needed to sign. So, he pulled her into the room and pulled the curtains closed. He told his colleague to leave the papers he was changing. Peng Bo pretended to leave and then turned back, surprised to see a somewhat disheveled situation inside. Knowing his place, he pulled the curtains back for them and left. She praised his abs and said, "Just consider this my uncontrolled appreciation for a beautiful piece of art." My man was so embarrassed that he buttoned his shirt crookedly, so she apologized for disturbing him. Ling Rui agreed, hoping that she wouldn't do something like this again, because if she met someone else, she might get hurt. She said, "Dr. Ling Rui, you're pretty handsome," and then left. Later, Fang Ning went to see her father, and it seemed that the two of them didn't get along. He sarcastically said that if she hadn't said it, he wouldn't have known that the CEO of Deersing was a woman. Fang Ning said, "The one who gave birth to me is my mother. The one who raised me isn't my father. Maybe you don't know." After talking about work, he brought up the matter of her marriage. She said, "I'm intelligent and rich. Why do I need to get married?" He said, "If you don't get married and have children within a year, I will vote against Infinity." She said, "The one who has no right to veto my decisions is you." And then she left. She went home feeling lonely and heavy. Her room was a bit messy, but she felt a sense of familiarity. She received a call from ER Fan, who told her that her father had informed the management board that he wanted to put the Infinity project on hold. She remembered what her sister had wished for before she turned 30, so she called her father and said, "You old fox, I promised to get married and have a child within a year, so you better keep your promise too." But she also told him, "Marriage and family have never been a reason to trap women. You and fate are not my opponents." The next day, she went to martial arts class. ER Fan kept talking about the people who were chosen for her blind dates, but she kept rejecting and criticizing them. Then, she met her nemesis, Tang Ping, who was also training with her. Tang Ping scratched her neck. Fang Ning beat her up until she begged for mercy, saying that she had broken her arm and demanded Fang Ning take her to the hospital, or else she would tell her father to vote against Fang Ning. When she heard the word hospital, her eyes lit up. When they got to the hospital, Tang Ping made a fuss, demanding a professional. The hospital director came to examine her. Ling Rui appeared, saying, "This is the emergency room. Please don't hinder the doctor from treating the patient. Please apologize to the doctor in front of everyone." Fang Ning, as the family member, stepped forward and said, "This little girl has always been mischievous. She's caused you trouble. You did this on purpose, didn't you, Ling Rui? Take off your mask in front of her. I like your intentional actions. It's been so long since anyone has paid attention to you. So you're trying to attract attention." She wanted to follow, but Tang Ping pulled her back. Then she walked around looking for him, wondering where he was. He said from behind, "You're hurt," and she said, "That crazy girl accidentally hit me." She said it was okay, but as soon as she turned away, she acted like she was about to faint. So Ling Rui said, "Come with me." After helping her disinfect and tape the wound, she asked him, "Do you want to marry me? If a rare commodity like you is still single, then it's really strange." He said, "That's my personal business. If you don't have anything else, please leave. I still have work to do. Thank you." Okay, a direct attack makes him shy. She left, calling ER Fan to help her investigate Ling Rui. Turns out, he's pretty cute. He goes to the market and knows how to cook. He has a very kind and gentle mother, and he lives with his 2 aunts. That day, his aunt ran out and told him that she had made a mess. She had invested her money from the divorce and lost it, so she owed Feng Yu 4 million. At this point, Ling Rui didn't know that Fang Ning's sister was the creditor, and now she was demanding the money. He didn't know what to do. He said gently, "Don't worry, I'll figure something out." Fang Ning's side found out what happened. She coldly told her brother to set up a meeting with the creditor. She looked calm and collected, but was probably already plotting to intimidate the guy. "Ling Rui, oh Ling Rui, you can't escape." The meeting arrived, and he looked confused like he wasn't sure if he was in the right place. She introduced herself. Fang Ning, CEO of the Deersing Group, sister of Fang Yu, the creditor of Yaji, your aunt. "You're the one who has to take responsibility," he replied softly. "I'm willing to pay off all the debt for my aunt, but because the amount was so large, he asked for more time." She said, "I've already come up with a specific plan that will benefit both of us." She said she needed a marriage to appease her family, and he fit the bill perfectly. "We can maintain it for a year, and then 2 million will be considered forgiven." But he was very stubborn and refused. She raised the offer to 2.5 million, and he remained silent. 3 million per year. "Think it over carefully. We can cooperate happily. She's quite formidable. Now she's raised the price to 4 million. Are you satisfied?" The top of her head was like the peak of a mountain, and there was even a paper flying effect. They were talking seriously, but I wanted to laugh until I cried, looking at their faces. But he said he would return, make a detailed repayment plan, and he would definitely not let her suffer any loss, and then he left. At the hospital, Ling Rui was called the flower of general surgery. Pang Bo invited him on a blind date, but he refused because he had to focus on his medical career. Seeing this, Pang Bo started talking about the curtain incident from the other day. He guessed and made assumptions, making Ling Rui a little annoyed. Pang Bo also realized that Ling Rui must have some family problems, because he hadn't seen him so upset in a long time. Even though he didn't say anything, he took the initiative to transfer money to Ling Rui. He said, "No need, I've already figured out a way." Even though it was difficult to solve, he still wanted to transfer some money to Ling Rui, because he was afraid that the flower of general surgery would suddenly disappear, and he wouldn't know where to find him. Meanwhile, Fang Ning was angrily punching the punching bag, because if it was her negotiating, there was no deal she couldn't win, but she lost to him. And even after 4 million, he refused. ER Fan said, "They're discussing marriage, not business. Besides money, you need to talk about your feelings. Show him your sincerity and enthusiasm." After hearing this, she quickly left. On the other side, Tang Ping came to find Ling Rui. She wanted to chat with him, but he always found excuses to leave, avoiding contact with her. She tried so hard to hold on to him that she almost fainted, and Fang Ning came to help. She walked over to Ling Rui, holding a bouquet of flowers in her hand, and said to Tang Ping, "This is my boyfriend. You're so bold, you even dare to compete for my future son's father." The two of them were about to fight, but Ling Rui intervened and got yelled at. Fang Ning turned to give Ling Rui the bouquet and said, "I want to continue our conversation from the other day." Ling Rui said, "Follow me," and she glared at Tang Ping. Goodness, She's begging for marriage. It doesn't look like Fang Ning at all. Fang Ning said, after 3 meetings, I want to say that I'm satisfied. But thinking about it, she corrected herself, saying, I'm already smitten, and she put her hand on her right chest. He corrected her. It's on the left, and he said, I still want to discuss another plan with you. Actually, he didn't need to do that. She knew that he didn't have any savings. All of his money since he started working has been donated to charity under various names. Fang Ning said he could use her name. The guy was annoyed. Marriage is not a transaction. Nothing is easy. There are no shortcuts, so don't sacrifice your marriage for me. He said, thank you for helping my family. I hope you won't mention this again, and don't tell my family, because Ling Rui didn't want them to worry. He would pay her back soon, and then he left. Tang Ping convinced her father to go to the hospital. Her goal was to meet Dr. Ling. She even took pictures to provoke Fang Ning, making her angry enough to call a lawyer to deal with Ling Rui about the money. Now everyone in the house knew what happened. Things got complicated, and it was truly frustrating. He went to find her, angry beyond belief. She was also angry enough to turn blue. She said, I don't usually give people a second chance, but because of you, I can give you another chance. He said, no, that will only make me more determined. She kept talking about wanting to get married, but did she understand what love and being loved felt like? In her eyes, there was only herself. If she truly cared, she wouldn't hurt someone else's family. Fang Ning, you're just selfish and childish. Then he left. She was very sad to hear the words, childish, because she had dreamt of her mother saying the same thing, so she cried. The next morning, he tried to look cheerful, but everyone was gloomy. Actually, his mother and his aunt had already thought about helping him, like mortgaging the house, using their savings, and they were also upset because he didn't tell them about everything. They all ate breakfast happily. Today, she had a meeting with another boss. That day, she met Ling Rui walking by. She thought she was starting to hallucinate, but it turned out he had a meeting with a professor. It turned out that the professor wanted to help Ling Rui financially. I'm sure he's a good person. Everyone likes him and wants to help him, but he also refused. The professor said that he knew Ling Rui would say that, so he changed the subject to the research lab in Germany. For so many years, you've wanted to go there to study, don't let anything distract you. He looked at her, and she realized he was looking at her too. The man on the other side asked Fang Ning to meet him in his room, on the rooftop to discuss business. Coincidentally, Ling Rui was in the bathroom and heard him ask Fang Ning to meet, saying that he would drug her, asking someone to bring wine. He was worried, and it was true, the guy really drugged her. He said the two of them should get married, but this old man already had a wife. He said he would be single if she agreed. Before leaving, he tried to get her to drink water. Ling Rui ran upstairs to find her. Oh man, was he imagining things? No, he wasn't. This time, he was genuinely worried about her, so he turned around to find her. She opened the door and asked him why he was there. It turned out she was giving the guy a lesson, which made him happy. She said that the person who could bully her hadn't been born yet. But why did he suddenly come back? Were you worried about me? He just smiled. Then she had a stomachache. He worriedly told her to go to the hospital, but she refused because she had something to do later. Seeing that he still wanted to help, she said, would you mind taking me to meet my business partner? It's very important for me. During dinner, she had to drink wine, but she pretended to be fine. When they left, she looked around and wondered, did he really leave? As soon as she sat down and held her stomach, he brought her medicine. So sweet. The guy from the restaurant came out and said he wanted to give her a wind chime to wish them eternal love. After accepting it, she asked him if he could take her home. He took her all the way home, gave her medicine, and then said, I'll stay here so you can ask me to do things. He found something for her to eat. Goodness, the kitchen looked like it hadn't been used in 1,000 years. She was already asleep, so he carried her to her room. In there, he saw a picture of her as a child, and realized that she was the girl he liked when they were kids. He went out and cleaned her house, prepared food for her, and then called her out to eat. Seeing him do everything, she asked, is there anything you don't know how to do? Why are you still here? Do you think the way I eat is adorable, so you want to watch me a little longer? She said, you're right, I'm doing something that's extremely important, triple important, to me. It's funny to say, but if Fang Ning can't get married right away, then all my efforts right now will be in vain. He said, I believe you. She said, it's not important to me what I sacrifice. It doesn't matter how others perceive me. As long as I know what I'm doing, that's enough. She said she had to have a video conference and thanked him for the porridge. He went home and opened an old box, took out a coin, and said, she's still the same as before. Goodness, she's actually quite cute at home. Ling Rui left her a few short lines. 1-year term. Haha, good, I'm happy now. She ran to him and asked him what the card meant. He awkwardly said, didn't I write it clearly? She said, I'm in business. I value clarity and logic. Your lines are too vague. Tell me." She even turned her back to make him less embarrassed. "Oh my God, I'm too embarrassed to even talk, let alone him." Seeing him hesitate, she turned around and said loudly, "Do you want to marry me or not?" So he took Fang Ning home. 3 of them were in one room, and he was going to introduce her, but she said directly, "Please agree to let Ling Rui sign a contract with me." She held his hand and continued, "A contract to be companions for life." The 3 of them looked tense, but when they discussed it privately, they were overjoyed. Fang Ning said, "A talented person like Ling Rui is a danger if put into the market. Don't worry, the 3 of you. Besides money, everything I do depends on him. That's what suits him best." They had another private meeting and said, "Hearing her talk like this, it means that she also thinks our Ling Rui is very good. How long have you two known each other? Do you know each other well enough?" She honestly said, 5 days. The 3 women discussed it again, and Ling Rui's mother said, "Even 5 days is long enough to have a one-day anniversary. So, what's your name, little girl?" She introduced herself, and they already knew. Since she was so young, they knew she was their creditor. Ling Rui's mother asked, "You have a lot of money, right? Do you have 4 million?" She said, "Of course." This time, his mother talked to him privately and said, "Let me read this to you. Selling yourself for money will have consequences." He said, "Selling yourself is illegal, Mom, and I know what marriage is." She asked, "You've only met for a few days, and you're talking about marriage? Are you filming a movie?" She asked him if he loved Fang Ning, and if he was willing to spend his life with her. If not, she would still mortgage their house. He said, "Mom, even though it's only been 5 days, it's been enough for me to understand her. In fact, we've known each other for a long time." Seeing that she didn't believe him, he tried to persuade her. "I'm not a kid anymore. I know a lot of things can be bought with money, but I think that feelings between people can't be bought or sold. I will spend more time understanding her." Ling Rui knew his mother was reluctant to let him go, but he said, "Mom, please believe me. I want to be with her." It sounded like she was marrying off her daughter. Finally, his mother agreed. As they were leaving, she told him that she was very happy. Before officially signing the contract, she would let her family know. She pulled his hand and hugged him, saying, "You have to get used to affectionate gestures." It was only for 3 seconds, but she kept counting. 2, 3, and then she let go. He gave her a cute greeting and went home. At her company, she was cheerful and relaxed. She even told her father that she was getting married. His mind was blown, but then he realized his daughter had just said she was getting married. He asked a barrage of questions. Who is he? What's his name? Where did he go to school? How are his grades? What are his parents like? When she told him about their date, he said, "Tell his parents to come meet me as soon as possible." On the other hand, he was receiving premarital checkup forms. Ling Rui told Pangbo that he was getting married. She came to pick him up for the checkup. To make sure that the man she'd be spending her life with was clean and healthy, she wanted him to have a physical and a sexual health checkup. On the way back from the checkup, he asked, "Do I need to pay attention to anything for tomorrow's meeting?" She said, "No need to pay attention to anything. I think you're tense." So she held his hand and said, "Don't worry, I'm here." So he went to the meeting. His family looked tense. Her father said, "This meeting is not very proper, but you two are busy kids. I don't think we should prolong this. So if there's anything I haven't handled well, I hope Ling Rui's family will forgive me." Ling Rui's mother said, "Everything might be a little rushed, but as long as you two are happy and live happily ever after, that's all that matters." Ling Rui added, "My uncle probably doesn't fully understand me, so he's a little worried. But I promise everyone, please rest assured, I'll use all my abilities to treat her well." She gave him a thumbs up. "You're doing great." On the way home, Tang Ping's mom started making a fuss, saying, "Did you owe her money that you suddenly decided to get married?" Fang Ning pulled him back and kissed him in front of everyone. He pushed her back, and she pushed him again. Those two are exhausting. He looked at Fang Ning, and Fang Ning looked at Tang Ping and said, "You saw it too. We're truly in love." He seemed to agree, and she even leaned on him like a little kid. On the way home, she reapplied her lipstick. He looked so cute. She noticed some lipstick on his lips and helped him wipe it off. He was like a newbie in love. She praised him, saying, "You're not doing badly. I'm happy with the progress of our relationship, and the contract is signed, everybody." He was hesitant and asked, "There are some things that look like they're ours, but actually belong to you." She meant their children. He felt it was meaningless, so he crossed it out. Then he added, "All the terms in this contract do not violate any laws." The next day, Fang Ning's father came to find him. He guessed that her father was worried about her. He asked him, "What kind of person is your Fang Ning?" He said, "Sometimes she's arrogant and willful, unreasonable, but other times she's lonely. If everyone understood her, what would be so special about your daughter?" Her father laughed and said, "So you understand why my daughter likes you?" But he still asked again, "Did she force you or coerce you into anything? If she did, tell me. I'll give you some shares to protect yourself." Wow, just get the marriage license. The two of you don't need to have a wedding ceremony. Happy cooperation, and her brand was approved. But her father was so happy that after the vote, he gave out wedding invitations to everyone announcing the wedding that weekend. Then, she thought about it again. Good. This task, which was both time-consuming and energy-draining, wouldn't be a waste if I did it. She also invited all the business partners to introduce her new brand, which really made ER Fan helpless. He could only praise her. "You're amazing." The wedding day arrived. The bride was only concerned about the introduction of her brand. Her assistant was like, "I'm so confused. I'm going to be stressed out being your assistant." She even chose a dress with pants for comfort. On the other hand, Ling Rui finished work, changed clothes, and arrived at the wedding, looking incredibly handsome. "Cameraman, why didn't you film him changing? I'm so mad." Tang Ping arrived, dressed like she wanted to be the bride herself, but another girl blocked her way and ruined Tang Ping's dress. Fang Ning said, "That looks prettier. You can be the bridesmaid and go on stage to congratulate them." Tang Ping's dad came out to handle the chaos and took her home. This girl was CU, and through her performance, she was granted by Fang Ning a press pass to be the only reporter at the wedding. The auspicious time arrived. She was worried that her father would step on her dress and they would both fall. But her father said something that was so touching. "Don't worry, I won't let you fall. Ling Rui, I'm entrusting my daughter to you." Goodness, the honeymoon was so fun. She was worried that infinity would be plastered all over the newspapers and that Ling Rui would have to lie in wait for her. She stood for a long time and her feet started hurting. So Ling Rui carried her to the sofa. He took care of her, and she imagined all sorts of things. Goodness, she imagined too much and got slapped. She realized it was embarrassing, so she tried to pretend her hand was hurt so he would massage it. But someone rang the doorbell. She tempted him to drink alcohol, but he was too innocent and hadn't experienced being drunk. She felt guilty for not having a perfect wedding with him, so she was going to drink alone. Seeing that, he decided to have a drink with her. They finished the whole bottle. They ended up falling asleep in each other's arms. She heard him talking about medicine and his heart. His hands were gesturing. It looked dangerous. Then he fell fast asleep. She thought he was dead and tried to take off his shirt, but thankfully, she still had some shame and couldn't do it all by herself. She woke up in the morning, looking like a crazy person. She complained lovingly, "You said you wouldn't get drunk." He was a little embarrassed and asked, "Nothing happened last night, right?" She was dangerous. She said, "You tell me." Seeing that he didn't say anything, she said, "I was kidding. Let's go home. I'll deal with you later." When they got home, he took her hand and said, "This is right." "Fang Ning," someone called out her name. She ran over to hug and cling to him, acting playful and spoiled. It was Yi Yao, Fang Ning's younger cousin. But Ling Rui didn't seem very happy. Even shaking hands felt uncomfortable. So Ling Rui immediately went to wash his hands. She said her younger cousin was adopted, so he was very young. He watched her grow up and treated her very well. She also liked him. It sounded a lot like a love rival. She wanted to talk to her cousin alone, but he hesitated and said, "Didn't you say you'd take good care of me? Now we're newlyweds. To avoid raising suspicion from your family, shouldn't we be more prepared?" She said, "Don't worry about it. No one in this family is my opponent." Someone brought fruit for them. When the person returned to find something, Ling Rui put his arm around her and leaned her against the wall. He said, "The strawberry on your lips is very delicious. I want to try it too." He was getting carried away, but the person left. He looked like he was thinking, "Why are you leaving so soon? Bad luck." At the dinner table, her cousin wanted to sit next to her. He chatted excitedly and even put food on her plate. Her husband was so furious, but she seemed very cooperative. She ate the fat that her husband had put on her plate, even though she didn't like it before. Her husband looked like he was really enjoying himself, smiling with his teeth showing. So the two guys from each side were frantically piling food on her plate, trying to suffocate her. Her husband added, "Eat more. If not, how will you handle it tonight? I'm exhausted, you two." This meal went from a normal dinner to a love fest. They went out to watch the sea and praised each other's good performance. Her younger cousin came out to call Fang Ning. Her husband quickly interrupted, saying that they were watching the sea. It's hard work. The cousin said he brought a wedding gift. He didn't know what she liked. Ling Rui said, "I know what she likes best. It's me." I'm about to cringe. These two are really over the top. He left so they could talk. He left, but he kept looking back to see if he was being cuckolded. Sure enough, her husband, standing far away, saw them talking and hugging. He found a way to interrupt them. "Where's the water? Let's use this to spray some water." "Oops, my wife got wet. Let's grab the towel." And then he dragged her back to her love. Then he left. I don't know if her cousin is tired, but I'm starting to get tired. Ling Rui said, That guy is quite dangerous. He could easily find out about us. Living in constant fear is exhausting. We just need to live openly in our own world." Refusing to be bothered, she turned back and said, "Don't say too much. I might believe it." He told her, "Don't think too much. I'll sleep on the floor." That night, she told him not to think too much, but she ended up imagining too much. She wanted to invite him to sleep with her. He brought out a pillow and slept on the floor. "What kind of romantic gesture was that?" she asked him. "Are you really going to sleep on the floor?" He even knew how to lock the door, but he didn't know how to do anything else. He glared at her and said, "I'm kidding. Come on up. You're very well behaved. I won't touch you." So he went to sleep. She was restless, so she deliberately fell off the bed and landed on top of him. She snuggled up to him and hugged him, then smiled contentedly. I thought it would be a romantic moment, but instead, it turned into a comical situation. She had him tied up and rigid. He told her, "Behave yourself." He went outside to get some water and ran into Yi Yao. He said many things to Ling Rui, kind of probing, not trusting this marriage. He said, "To be frank, I don't trust you." He said, "Even if Fang Ning still has things she's hiding from me, she didn't tell me, and I didn't ask. Everyone has the right to keep their secrets, don't they?" Yao said, "I don't know what happened between you two, but I won't allow anyone to hurt Fang Ning." Ling Rui said, "I don't need to know what happened between you two. I'm telling you, the person who hurts her definitely won't be me." Ling Rui returned to the room, but he didn't untie her before going to sleep. The next morning, she wondered if giving birth was that difficult. It was harder than creating a brand. Her mother was pacing back and forth, and "I'm so tired." And to top it off, he said he was very busy next week, so he wouldn't be sleeping at home. She is so sad, she has so much to do. That morning, her cousin and she went to work. Siyu was running behind them and accidentally tripped her cousin, causing a recording pen to fall. Thankfully, Fang Ning got it back and went to talk to Siyu. Siyu was about to be fired for lack of news. Seeing this, Fang Ning immediately brought her into the company, gave her double the salary, and told her to start work the next day. She was so cool. For days, they hadn't contacted each other. That night, they were all eating dinner when he came home. She had told him not to come back, so Ling Rui said he'd pick up his clothes and leave. She was upset. She thought, should I be obediently staying at home, waiting for him to break the contract? Of course not. I have a duty to remind him and help him. As soon as she got to the hospital, she met Tang Ping. Tang Ping said things that made Fang Ning lose her cool. She even found sweets on Ling Rui's desk. She found an excuse to say that he was breaking the contract and left. The next morning, Siyu went to work, but she didn't wear her high heels. Ling Rui wanted to help, but she refused, then splashed her coffee on his cousin. Thankfully, Fang Ning arrived in time. Later, when they met on the upper floor, she spilled water on him. 3 strikes, you're out. Today, Ling Rui had the day off. He went to find Fang Ning. She said, "Wait for me after work. I have to work first." Then she worried. He waited so long, he waited until dusk. He just went to wait for her after work, and then took her home. She thought, he's just smiling at me, so everything's okay? What a great little brother to have. She turned off the lights and closed the door, giving them a chance to be alone tonight. She took him to a more comfortable place. He tried to scare her, but she wasn't any worse, scaring him back with ghosts. When they got there, he asked, "Should we find something else to do?" She asked, "Do what?" He said, "Let's play a game. The winner can ask the loser a question, and they have to answer honestly. It will help us understand each other more." She said, "That's childish. I won't play." But after thinking about it, she agreed. She won, so she asked him what he thought of Tang Ping. He said, "I don't think anything. She brought her movie to the hospital, so I just treated her." She won again. She asked, "Why did you suddenly decide to marry me?" "Because I wanted to help you." He won this round, so he asked, "Besides work, why do you want to marry me?" She thought to herself, "I want to have a baby, but I can't tell him that." So she answered, "I want to have a deeper relationship with you." Then he said, "I'm sleepy. Let's stop playing." The two of them switched to watching a movie. She leaned on him when she got sleepy. He was so warm, he gently took her hand. Early in the morning, Ling Rui woke up. He pretended to be asleep, but then someone came to wake Fang Ning up. She called for her husband, and he woke up, not at all convincingly. On the way, she said she had noticed he was pretending to be asleep. He said, "I was embarrassed. This is her territory. Let her handle it more appropriately." He wanted her to take him to the hospital, meaning to eat breakfast with him at the hospital. They went to get breakfast together, holding hands in public, so cute. It made the other female colleagues jealous. He was so attentive and loving to his wife. The whole place buzzed with, "Oh my God, Ling Rui is married." He was afraid she would feel sad and misunderstood. So he explained to Fang Ning that he didn't like being the center of attention. so he didn't tell his colleagues about their marriage. He was a general surgeon, and they couldn't wear jewelry in the operating room, but from now on, he would try to wear it. She just wanted him to remember to wear it when he got home, and didn't want to force him. She said, "After breakfast, I want to walk around the hospital." He indulged her, of course. He was still in love with his wife, and wanted to be close to her. He went to greet everyone, and brag about his wife. Then he had to go back to work. Fang Ning went to visit Tang Ping's dad, which made her angry. Tang Ping dragged her outside to talk. Fang Ning said triumphantly, "In the future, if people ask you who I am, just say you're a friend of Mrs. Ling." Then she left in a good mood. The next day, Tang Ping brought Ling Rui a competition flag, and wanted to take a picture with him. But Peng Bo, quick-witted, told her, "Don't take a selfie, or you'll be misunderstood." She was defiant, so Peng Bo, trying to help his friend, said, "Isn't there a patient waiting for Ling Rui?" She reluctantly agreed, only to find that all the photos were of her. Peng Bo said it was because she hadn't been specific, so it wasn't his fault. That night, Fang Ning brought him soup. She wanted to be closer to him. She told him to take a sip of soup. If he looked at her, how could he not be moved? She was laughing like a maniac. As soon as he came in, she turned pale. Seeing that the food was fragrant and delicious, he drank 2 sips and finished it. She said, "Can you get me a napkin?" At this point, I was laughing till my stomach hurt, looking at the wife's face. He took a mop and put a towel on it, then handed it to her. She didn't take it, so he said, "I'm leaving." Fang Ning said, "Then I'll go out there." He put the towel over her head. The soup was working. Her heart was beating fast. She was burning up and drinking water like a maniac. She was sitting there, waiting for her husband to take the lead, but then she saw that he'd finished all the soup. She didn't need to ask anything. He said, "I must be sick." She made him smell her new shampoo, and her hair accidentally fell on his face. Seeing that she hadn't gotten what she wanted, she became bold. "Honey, I'm suddenly feeling very hot." She leaned on him and whispered something, a vicious move, but it was savage. "Let's go to bed, my brothers and sisters." "Where are you?" The comical moments continue to appear. He got so hot, he was even having a nosebleed. At this point, he finally realized and asked her what she gave him to drink. She said, "Whatever, just come here." He said, "I need to talk." Then he tied her up again. She said, "If you understand everything, I'll tell you. After we have a child, I won't stop you from doing anything anymore. The child will belong to me, but you can see them whenever you want. I will never stop you. If you have a new love, I will never let the child call the other woman mom." He asked, "So you never planned on keeping the child's father around?" She said, "I can handle any risks. Why should a father be forced to have Ling Rui? Just think of it as helping a cute girl have a baby, that's all." He said, "In short, I will not have children with you. Children are the product of love between 2 mature adults. We are not that. And don't even think about having children with anyone else." He told her to go home for a few days and not to come looking for him. When he got home, his aunt teased him. "What happened to you? Why did you come home to your mom at night?" The next morning, he was mad at his wife and cleaned the whole house. He wouldn't talk to anyone. Fang Ning came by with gifts and a suitcase. No, it was baby stuff. She said she was going to give them away. She acted cute around him and his mother, leaving Ling Rui speechless at his silly wife. They went back and forth and their family realized that they had problems. She wanted a baby, and he found it bothersome. They were angry at each other. No one could persuade them, so they gave up. So, his mom and daughter sat down to talk privately. She told her mom that they had been completely unlike a married couple ever since they got married, making his mom think that he had problems. She came up with a way to solve the problem, cooking a potion for him to drink. "This married couple is hilarious." He said, "Your scheme won't work." She said, "What scheme? Wherever my husband is, I have to be there, right?" She told his mom that he wouldn't drink it, so he reluctantly drank it all, but it was really hard to drink. That night, the whole family ganged up on Ling Rui, helping their daughter. "Goodness, cover your eyes, children." He was taking a shower when his aunt brought out a piano and played. His mom dragged their daughter into the bathroom. His mom's face looked like she was having a blast. She even turned off the lights. Ling Rui's family was so amused. They turned on a purple light, but he pulled the curtains closed. His mom pretended to cover her eyes, haha. But unfortunately, he was wearing pants. The fun was over. Then he attacked to have some fun. The 2 aunts and his mom were so embarrassed, they even tried to cover for him. Later, she told him, "Wherever you are, I will stay there. I won't go back." And his mom told them both they had to sleep in the same bed. They pulled out the contract. She said, "Okay, if you stay pure as snow like this, I'll find someone else to partner with." He said, "If you cheat on me now, I'll get half of everything." Whatever, she went to bed anyway. He was so stubborn. So, he went to sleep on the floor. The next day, she went to ask CU for advice on her problem, but pretended to be asking for her friend. Siyu gave Fang Ning a stack of books to read, but she found it all too simple. The next morning, she walked into the hospital like a man, looking for Ling Rui. As soon as she arrived, something happened. Ling Rui had successfully performed surgery, but the patient had complications and passed away. Everyone stopped her. She said, "They're scolding Ling Rui. He didn't do anything wrong. Why do I have to stand here and listen to them scold my husband?" Ling Rui was also very sad and remorseful. She asked the professor from the other day to switch shifts so that he could take a break. Then she took Ling Rui to an amusement park. She said, "Today I'm treating you." She even booked the whole area so he could freely choose where to go, but he invited everyone to go with them. She was hesitant about the cost, but she said, "As long as you're having fun, it's okay." He played with a whole group of kids. Fang Ning stood below like a kind mother, calling his name, taking pictures of him and praising her. White Horse Prince, saying he was so handsome, which made him remember when they were kids. They continued to play all sorts of games. Then he asked her, "Did you bring me here to comfort me?" Men, they're really something. She forced him to hug a tree and hit his hand against the tree, saying, "Ling Rui, do you know what I'm doing?" Even young people passing by called her corny. He laughed and said, "I really didn't realize." At the end of the day, they both got a teddy bear. He said, "What's wrong with you today? You seem different." It's because she saw him sad today. She wanted him not to be sad, that it wasn't his fault. He said, "I'm fine. I can handle this kind of thing every day. I'm used to it." She said, "Time is precious. Where do you want to go now? It was so hard to get you half a day off." He said, "Now I know you asked for it." She apologized repeatedly. He only said, "I hope you won't interfere with my work and life so much in the future." She asked, "Does your life not include me?" He said, "It does, but we're just in a contractual relationship." Fang Ning asked, "Were all the things I did today just like a fool?" He said, "You did all this to achieve your goal." So he asked her, "Do you love me?" She said, "You jerk. Aren't we husband and wife?" He said, "If you really want a baby, I'll give you one, but you definitely can't run away." He was trying to prepare for a kiss, but she pushed him away. He teased her, "Are you scared?" She was nervous and ran out. She looked so pitiful. All of a sudden, 2 or 3 different personalities came to the forefront, fighting each other, yelling, "What are you afraid of? Fang Ning, you don't want a child anymore? Don't be a coward, go back." After she calmed down, she went back inside. Ling Rui suddenly lifted her up. Fang Ning was stiff, looking so cute. Her heart was beating fast. This part is for you guys to see. I'm going to keep laughing. She was so inexperienced. She said, "Wait a minute." He said, "Wait again? We've already waited long enough." Fang Ning stood up, yelled and ran away. He sat up and said, "I knew you wouldn't dare. He's taking a shower. Oh man, he knows I like it, right? Ling Rui, you animal." Ling Rui's ex-fiancée, Yu Jiang, called and said she wanted to invite Fang Ning and her husband to dinner. It was considered a way of congratulating them on their wedding. Fang Ning said she didn't want to eat early or late, and chose that specific day. She wondered how she was going to face Ling Rui. He appeared, looking so cute. She said calmly, "It's just dinner. It's also work, because this person is an important business partner of the company." Then the 3 of them took a picture. Yu Jiang sent the picture to her ex-fiancé. He immediately flew over, furious. Because they weren't on speaking terms, he was worried Yu Jiang would do something to Fang Ning. These 2 young couples were also shy around each other. So cute. They were eating when her ex-fiancé arrived. Yu Jiang wanted to show off that they were still in love, so she proposed a toast. But Ling Rui was worried that his wife was driving home later, so he drank instead. Yu Jiang intentionally brought up old memories and asked how they met. They both said it was fate. Behind their smiles, they were playing a game of mutual exposure. They were acting out a loving scene, not at all fake. She kicked him under the table, and he went silent. He still smiled, but his mind was filled with provocative remarks. He purposely picked up dishes that Fang Ning didn't like. "Oh my god, this family is so funny." Her ex-fiancé called Yu Jiang out to talk, so the 2 girls in the room fired off their questions. He said, spoiling doesn't suit her. Then he went to the bathroom and overheard them talking. Yu Jiang said that her ex-fiancé had hurt her for Fang Ning's sake and was willing to break off their engagement. Yu Jiang said, "Today, I just want to see you panic. You didn't disappoint me." Then she made a proposal. 1. You truly love her, or else I'll tell her the truth, how you broke off our engagement, and who you really love. Ling Rui came back, saying, "We have to go home now. She's having a stomachache." Then she played along, without any pretense. On the way home, she thanked Ling Rui. Her cousin went to pat her head, but Ling Rui pulled her back. Her cousin understood and took a taxi home by himself. Ling Rui's attitude was like he wasn't seeing her off. When he got a phone call, It was about the class reunion on Friday. She asked what was going on, and he said she looked beautiful today. Then he hung up and left. Fang Ning wondered if he liked her like that, but the next morning, she thought he was avoiding her and criticizing her. Later, she met her cousin and told him that there was no need to prepare a contract with Yu Zhang's side. She said, "They are irrational. They look down on Fang Ning and bully my cousin, so I don't want to cooperate with them anymore." She remembered that Ling Rui had a class reunion on Friday. Dr. Ling arrived, and all the women rushed to sit with him. He begged Peng Bo for help. His friend pulled him away to pick up Professor Wu. As soon as they left, the others started gossiping about Ling Rui. They say he is taking advantage of his wife, and is a hypocrite. "You talk trash about my husband. You're going down." Fang Ning walked in, looking incredibly cool. She introduced herself. "You can find my information online." They asked why Ling Rui came to the reunion with his family. She said, "I heard 2 people gossiping about my husband, so I came to defend him." "Why are you asking?" She said, "In this life, it's a blessing to be humiliated by me, Fang Ning." That guy was so angry that he walked towards Fang Ning. Ling Rui stepped in front of his wife, like, "How dare you touch my wife?" He took his wife's hand and led her away. The professor told him, "The script is full of upsetting questions." He held her in his arms and said, "I'm not angry. You don't need to be angry either." Fang Ning said, "You're not angry, then why were you so upset? And you're letting it go?" He said, "Because they're not wrong. My family was very poor when I was in school. Those were a part of my life. As for them saying things about you, they're not wrong either. You're very capable." Hearing that, Fang Ning was embarrassed. She asked him to go buy her sanitary pads for her. People thought he was a pervert, and even waited for him to give her the pads outside the women's bathroom. Oh my god, this family is so cute. She was worried that someone from her family would come, so she pretended to have a stomachache. She said she was about to die and needed someone to take care of her, so he took her to her private home. Her house was a mess, like a pigsty. As soon as he turned to leave, she stood up and started tidying up the house. Seeing him, she felt so warm, and he even washed the dishes for her. But karma hit. She was actually in pain. He went in and gave her some water, bringing her a hot water bottle wrapped in a towel to apply. She said she didn't want water. She needed him. She pulled him back and said, "I'm like this. How can you not stay with me?" She was in pain, but she still motioned for him to lie down here with her. "Is that satisfying enough, little lady? You're torturing me." As soon as he lay down, she said, "I'm so much more comfortable now. You're so well behaved." Oh my goodness, she made him sing. It was her turn. He wouldn't sing. He looked at a children's book and asked, "Why do you want a baby so much?" She said, "Maybe I've lived alone for too long. Sometimes I think about how noisy a house would be. It would be quite fun." She said, "If you don't read, can I hug you to sleep? I'll sleep right away if I smell your perfume." He held out his hand and said, "Hug this, it's the same thing." She was addicted to her husband. She didn't care about her shame anymore. He waited for her to fall asleep and then left. He remembered what she said earlier. The next morning, he made breakfast for her and said, "After breakfast, I want to talk to you." But she wanted to hear it right then. He apologized, saying, "I was angry at you in the amusement park the other day, and I've thought about it carefully. You would make a great mother. If your true goal for marriage is this, then I don't think I'm the right person. We should dissolve the marriage contract. I will take responsibility for all the consequences." She said, "I disagree. I won't have a child anymore." She said, "From now on, let's stay like this. I'm sorry for bothering you." She went back to her room and jumped up, saying, "I did a good job. That's right. You have to keep the man first. As long as there's a man, there will be a child. And there will be money. Ling Rui, you can't escape." He stayed too, but he suggested to her, "I think we've stayed at your house for a long time. Let's move to the apartment tomorrow. It will be a new beginning." She said, "Then I'll pack my things first and tell my father." Her mom was so excited, she started to laugh. Newlyweds need their own space. Her father thought, "Did I bother them? Why are they moving?" He kept sneaking in, but they were gone. This is so familiar. A grown daughter is hard to keep. Keep her and keep her. You end up keeping an enemy. You really can't keep her. Here's the sweet vacation of the CEO and the doctor. When they entered the clean house, she said, "It's usually like this." He said, "I cleaned it the other day." She chased after him, saying, "You really intend to sleep in the guest room?" He said, "My work schedule is different from yours." Oh my god, she opened the closet and was amazed. So, he went to organize her clothes for her. She said, "Later we'll go to the supermarket and buy some things. I've been living alone, so I'm missing a lot of stuff." He said, "Even if it's just a contract, the registration and living together are real, so we need to share things. I'll send you our monthly living expenses." He wanted to fulfill his responsibilities as a good husband. She thought happily. I never thought Fang Ning would be supported by someone, and looked at him with admiration. She was so happy when he said, I have to go on a business trip for 3 days tomorrow. She was taken aback and said, it's just a business trip. I'll take good care of myself. But she didn't give up her thoughts. Sooner or later, he'll be mine. She was lonely at home, missing him. She imagined scenarios with no shame. She went to work and saw him folding clothes and reaching out to hug her. Oh my god, heir. Fan thought she was having a breakdown. That day, her husband's teacher went shopping for furniture and met Fang Ning. He told her how Ling Rui had struggled since he was a child. The kid is very sensible. He doesn't talk much and has a soft heart. She was heartbroken, thinking about her husband, and her eyes turned red. On the other side, Tang Ping was heartbroken. She went to learn dancing and ran into Fang Yu. She realized that it was Fang Yu who had lent Ling Rui's aunt money. She was going to lose it. When she got home, Fang Ning saw him cooking. He must have worked very hard all day. She said, don't cook. Let's eat out. Ling Rui gently said that he liked eating with his family and that he didn't mind cooking for them. She stared at him, then said, Ling Rui, today, I really want to hug you. Can I hug you? Oh my god, that's so cute. He said, Fang Ning, why are you acting like a child today? You're making me unable to cook. So he asked her to hold and organize the things for him. So cute, she thought. What does it take to be considered love? I want to help him fulfill all his dreams and give him the most important things I have. I won't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do. Someone knocked on the door. Tang Ping arrived and made a scene. Fang Ning said, what's between me and Ling Rui doesn't concern you, and I confirmed that I love him. He held her hand and said, Miss Tang, our marriage is very happy. Thank you for your concern. Enjoy the intimate scene. Is anyone satisfied now? Now please leave. At the dinner table she said shyly, Ling Rui, you don't have anything to say about my confession today? He thought she was just trying to get rid of him. So she solemnly told him again, I love you. He still didn't believe her, saying, loving someone is not something you can just do. Then he went to his room. She was very sad. I really created this situation for myself. I can't live anymore. He said he didn't believe her, but he was starting to be delusional like her. Wherever he went, he heard and was haunted by the words, I love you. He ran into Tang Ping. She told him, anyone I like, Fang Ning never lets them go. So Dr. Ling, don't fall for her trap. This afternoon, you're attending a charity auction. It's Fang Ning's mother's idea. She thinks she's an angel. At the auction, she conspired with Pang Bo to raise the price. Tang Ping was also participating, so she let her shine, bidding wildly. But when it came to the final painting, which was a portrait of Ling Rui, she fought to get it for herself. She was so obvious about it. Seeing the chaos, he stepped in to settle things down. The painting was sold back to Ling Rui. Ling Rui seemed angry because he didn't like the attention. He only said, I have work to do. We'll talk later. He said he didn't like that she could just say she loved anyone she wanted. Then she said, why do you believe Tang Ping, but you can't believe me? What do I have to do for you to believe me? Ling Rui, everything I've done is hoping to get closer to you. I hope you can truly like me. He told her, trust me. When your excitement and competitive spirit fade, you won't think this way anymore. Don't say things that are uncertain. Then he left. So Fang Ning went to learn how to cook. She called the best chef to teach her, but she wanted to learn basic dishes. After cooking, she said, is this perfect? Then she added more seasoning and pretended to be hurt. As soon as her husband came home, he was in a panic. So cute. He asked suspiciously, did you really make all these dishes? Ling Rui said, I don't expect you to be like this. Ling Rui, no matter how you try to escape, you can't resist my sincerity. Ling Rui asked, are you sure you're being sincere? He gently said, I saw all the containers for these dishes in the trash. So I'm telling you, words that come from the heart can't be better than this. You always think that money can solve everything. You've never considered other people's feelings, but only wanted to achieve your goals. I hope you don't use this method in our life. She pulled him back and said, I bet you don't believe anything I say now. So today, I'll show you what it means to be drunk and speak from the heart. He tried to stop her. She said, don't worry, I won't get drunk. I drink every day, so I can't get drunk. So, you'll never believe me in your entire life. I'm always worried. I don't know if you're happy, if you're satisfied. You think you're not disrupting my life? Ling Rui, if you don't like me, you can reject me. Why are you denying my heart and my love? Then her human-sized teddy bear arrived. It had his face on it. He could feel everything she'd done for him. He thought about everything and went to find her. He called her, but she didn't pick up. Meanwhile, at the gym, Fang Ning was thinking, does he really not like me at all? Her cousin was next to her, but they didn't say anything. Ling Rui ran to find her too. The next morning, he still went to work. He happened to be working at Yu Jiang's company, so he went to find her and talk. He said, I have something I want to do for Fang Ning. He said, you two are very similar. You're not unaware of yourselves, you just don't want to face it. I just want to say, I hope you can return to your former self soon. As a way of thanking you, don't let Fang Ning suffer any more of the harm you've done to her in the past. Later, Yu Xing brought a better contract for Fang Ning, but she turned it down because her partner was acting emotional and blurring the lines between personal and professional. She didn't want to be pressured by anyone, so Yu Jiang just left a business card for someone who could help her continue her work. Fang Ning said she was sorry. She actually liked the woman who came. She could even help her make money. Yu Jiang just said, Fang Ning, you must have suffered a lot in your past life. That's why you're getting rewarded with Ling Rui in this life. Knowing he was a doctor, Bai Jing asked him to help with some medical terms. Someone invited Ling Rui to be an actor. She said, you two should keep it at a professional level. He's my husband, not an actor. She looked at him proudly. He was so happy, but she told him to hold back, act cold, and bring Bai Jing home. She said she'd help him get into his character as a doctor better, which would be beneficial for working with the brand. Ling Rui went into the room in a huff, but then she changed her expression and looked unhappy. He asked himself, what's wrong? I just brought a business partner home. What's there to get upset about? Then he changed into white clothes to look younger and more handsome. This couple is crazy. They dragged the guy into their drama. She did everything she could to make him jealous. He was so furious that he dressed up in handsome clothes, cleaned the table, cooked, and talked back until he ended up holding a knife to argue with her. That kid's had it rough. The argument escalated to the point where the guy saw his brother with a knife, got scared, ran to hide and called for help. He said thanks to them for giving him a valuable lesson. Love can make people crazy. The guy was gone, but they were still arguing. Then he went back to the kitchen with a knife and said he was going to die from anger. At the hospital, he was angry with his colleague when he mentioned Bai Jing. Pengbo asked if he was jealous, and he said no, he was just being cute. He showed Pengbo a picture of Bai Jing and asked if he was handsome. Ling Rui knew he wasn't as handsome as him, and then the couple started using the fly out, asking for a friend tactic. They asked everything as if for a friend. Pengbo realized the issue. They're sending a signal to the guy. It's like, I'm going to leave you soon, he should be careful. He said, I'll give you an idea. You stand there and he'll kick you. After you're hurt, he'll make sure you two get back together. You'll be all brotherly again. This friend of yours, he's worth his weight in gold. Always calm in any situation. In short, girls need to be appeased, but Ling Rui still insisted he was asking for his friend. Back home, he was thinking and saw her passport, realizing that her birthday was coming up. He saw people throwing birthday parties in the hospital, so he brought home balloons, ribbons, and even stuffed animals. He also came up with a gift that would be perfect. A baby, haha. He ordered a cake with his face on it, and thought of some nice things to write for her. He prepared everything, and put on a bear costume. She came home and he pulled her to the table, saying happy birthday to her, and gave her a lucky coin from that year. But she seemed tense in the house. She remembered her sister, and some unpleasant memories. She left, saying she had work at the company. He felt sorry for her. He called Fang Yu, and he asked if he was throwing a birthday party for his sister, and if she was violent with him. It turned out that her older sister's death anniversary was also on that day. He then went to find her. She had dropped the lucky coin he gave her, and was frantically looking for it. He told her it was all right, not to look anymore. It was cold. She should go inside. Oh, you're the kind of guy who leaves when the lights go out? You should have jumped on her and hugged her. I'm so mad at you. The next morning, he asked her about the restaurants she usually went to. She immediately thought, now you don't even want to cook for me? Then she went to the bathroom and began to torment herself. He had taken the initiative, and she had lost the lucky coin too. Things were going great. So she drained the pool to find it. She searched high and low until she found it. From now on, she wouldn't lose it again. She was going crazy, thinking all day that Ling Rui wanted to divorce her. She wasn't going to let him get his way. That afternoon, Ling Rui went to find her, and waited for her to get off work so they could go out to eat. But she said she had a date. But he still said, it's all right, I'll wait for you. I can wait forever. She tried to avoid him as if he were a plague. She kept telling him to eat first if he was hungry. He pulled her back and said, I just want to go on a date with you. Thinking she was touched, she suspiciously asked, is that just an excuse? I can eat, but I absolutely will not discuss anything with you. He asked, seriously? Not even dating? Not even talking? Seeing that she had dug a hole for herself, she thought for a moment and said, you'll have to take responsibility for what you say. He said, it's because I wasn't brave enough to admit it before. Our timelines are so different. It's given me a lot of doubts, but I've received your true heart. Do you agree to get married and start dating? He took her hand. She hugged him and agreed, and she cried. He kissed her. It was so sweet. The two of them were inseparable. It's so tiring to be an amateur at love. They change their profile pictures to a couple's picture. Even though they're in the same house, they text each other like they're on different continents. He even wanted to go to work together, but he forgot to kiss her goodbye before leaving. When she came back, she saw him accepting congratulations from other people and got jealous, forgetting everything else. Seriously, I'm embarrassed for him. She said it was because he smiled so handsomely. It made her emotional and impulsive. Her whole world was filled with pink now. But when it came to work, she was incredibly serious. He was a hardworking husband, and she was a hardworking wife. Everyone would be breathless if they saw them. When they finished work early, they scared each other and clung to each other. She said she forgot to cook dinner that day, so she made instant noodles for him. But in the end, he still cooked. She took the opportunity to hug him from behind and said she had wanted to do this for a long time. Now her wish had come true. Wow, even eating was so stylish. She flipped her hair, and he replied, "You look good eating noodles no matter what." After they ate, she said, "Let's go on a date." He said, "You've been working all day and are tired. Let's have a date at home." Then he told her not to overthink things. "You want to talk to me? I've been working all day and must be tired." He said, "Work is tough. There are a lot of stressful things. But as long as you are by my side, the world becomes a better place." She demanded that he take responsibility, so he kissed her. But she said, "That was so half-hearted. You don't meet the standard." So he gave her 2 more kisses. That morning, Ling Rui had a meeting with his colleagues and brought her along. At the dinner table, everyone was happily talking about things about him that she didn't know. She lost her composure and went to the bathroom, talking to herself. "Fang Ning, you can't do this. You look angry, and it's not beautiful. You have to be elegant, graceful, and smile, even if it's forced. Okay, let's go." She went out and was greeted by her husband's colleague, who told her a story about Ling Rui and the med school beauty. They were always together at the library and the lab. Peng Bo and everyone else covered their mouths in surprise. She just said it was a childhood thing. When he came out, she asked, "Are you still in touch with her?" He said, "Yes, sometimes we discuss research together." What a prestigious guy. Even when she lost her composure, she still smiled brightly like crazy. After dinner, they went to a karaoke bar, which Peng Bo had invited them to. He asked if she wanted to go. She said, "If you don't want to go, I will." Peng Bo invited the couple to sing, and he said he couldn't sing and had only been to a karaoke bar once. She asked, "With that girl, right?" He nodded. She got angry and refused to sing. She said, "I like it in my heart," but he corrected her, saying, "Your heart is on the left." He still didn't understand why his wife was mad and why they were fighting. Peng Bo chimed in, "Talk about it, and let's gang up to talk bad about Ling Rui so she can calm down. Tell him that whatever his wife says is right, right?" Facing his friend's insincerity, Ling Rui foolishly agreed. Honestly, seeing him sitting there between the 2 people who were in debt to him and his friend badmouthing him while he was helpless, it was such a sad sight. He said, "Every time he washes his hands, he talks to his hands, like a creep." Hearing that, she turned to him. "Creep?" He said, "Who's the creep? I'm a doctor. I like to be clean. That's normal. If I'm clean, my patients will be safe. That's a sign of seriousness and responsibility." The next day, while he was angry because she kept snacking and wouldn't eat a real meal, she was trying to act cute and be spoiled by her husband. Her father called. He said he knew Feng Yu was teaching dance and was furious. He wanted to kick him out of the house. On the way, he told her to stay calm. But when they got there, hearing the same words he had said to her sister, she lost her composure. She said, "The kid is just doing what he likes. What's wrong with that? Why do you want to kick him out?" He held her hand and pulled her back, saying, "Don't let yourself regret it." Then she told Feng Yu to follow her. She said, "You should stay at the hotel for now." She hugged him and said, "Feng Yu, no matter what you choose to do in the future, no matter what you do, I will always support you. So, don't be afraid. Go." On the way home, he worriedly asked if she was okay. She said, "It's been 10 years. I thought he had changed. But today, I realized he's still the same." He gently said, "Now we're married. I vow to share everything in life with you. And if there's anything that can make you happy, I'm willing to do it for you." Then he said, "Ling Rui, can you go to a place with me?" He took her to her company. They stood on the 2nd floor and talked. She told him that founding Infinity was her and her sister's dream. "I've always tried to be like her. But really, it just made me a flawed copy of her. She fit all my father's expectations better than I did. But then she left the family to follow her love. And because I wished she would come home for my birthday and to let Dad see her, then she had to rush off. And that's when the accident happened. She didn't get her wish. The car accident took everything away. That's why I went crazy, trying to achieve her dream. But if she was still here, She would have done it better than me. He went up to her and said, Fang Ning, there is no right or wrong. It's just about fulfilling a wish. Don't hurt yourself to become strong. I'm willing to be your source of strength. She said, Ling Rui, from now on, no matter what I do, I want to share everything with you. She hugged him, feeling a weight lift off her chest. One time, Yi Yao accidentally saw Siyu holding Ling Rui's doctor's ID card, and the voice recorder said it was for work. The next day, she had a press conference to launch Infinity. It was very important, so she was stressed and reviewed the detailed schedule 16 times. Ling Rui told her to close her eyes and whispered things to calm her down. Fang Ning, this is your birthday present to your sister. We will work hard to prepare, and our hearts will be with her. Your heart is so strong, you will definitely succeed. Sister, this is the fulfillment of your wish, and it's also a gift I'm giving you. Yao went to find Ling Rui to settle the score because he knew everything about them. Fang Yu's mother also heard about it and started causing a fuss at the launch, but her father stopped her. Ling Rui took her hand and told her not to worry because he was there. After confirming their feelings for each other, they decided to go public. This strange twist of fate brought them together. They understood the true meaning of marriage, cherished each other, and overcame everything together. And just like the name Infinity, in a limited time, it brings infinite love to you. Then she gave an interview. She said, with him, I realized that love is something money can't buy. He's not just my lover, my husband. He's also my goal, my motivation to make money. I want to give him everything good in the world. He just said, she's everything good in the world to me. Thank you, everyone. Since the next season's products for Infinity were about to launch, everyone was brainstorming ideas for a suitable commercial. 6 hours had passed, and Fang Ning hadn't liked any of them. She wanted Ling Rui to be the spokesperson, but he couldn't appear and talk too much because he was too handsome and his voice was too good. Siyu went out and called Ling Rui for help. They were about to lose their hair. What to do? Ling Rui came flying in and said all the ideas were great. They could decide whichever they liked, but he wasn't available during the filming time because every year during that time, he had to go back to his hometown. Seeing that things were at an impasse and that this brainstorming session might last until midnight, he said, if you don't mind, we could film at my hometown. Thank goodness, that's it. Siyu painted a beautiful picture for Fang Ning. This trip was a win-win-win situation. A honeymoon, a commercial shoot, and a chance to completely win over Dr. Ling. He told her and Dr. Ling to go first and make the most of their time. Everyone else would follow. As soon as Siyu left, she went wild. Hengbo knew they were going back to his hometown. He said, when you go, remember to come home, pay attention to your health, and be careful not to go overboard. He said, we're just going back to see our relatives. We're not going to farm. What do we need to worry about our health for? That's true. When they got home that night, she chose some sexy pajamas. When she came to her senses, she realized she was being ridiculous. She was going on a business trip. What was she thinking? They were both excited, shy, and hesitant. They asked each other if they were ready. Then they said goodbye, one turning off the light and the other going to bed. When they got to their room, they said, see you tomorrow. Holy crap. When they got there, the two of them got off at the wrong stop, so they hitched a ride with a couple of adorable kids. When they reached their resting spot, Ling Rui had booked 2 rooms, but there was only one left with a king-sized bed. So she said, let's check it out. She was so happy. After checking in, they went for a walk around town. She was curious why he was so loved here, as if he were some kind of VIP. She didn't believe that even the dogs listened to him. Suddenly a dog ran up to them, and she jumped into his arms. She heard him cooing over her. It's okay, don't be afraid, and then telling the dog to sit down. The dog obeyed. Then he told her to get down. She didn't, so he picked her up and carried her away. So cute. Only she refused to listen, and he had to pat her for a long time before she finally got off him. The reason was that Ling Rui was the first provincial top scorer from the town. He was a filial son. He even contacted the local hospital and a larger hospital to set up a medical clinic in the town, curing many people. Every year he would come here personally to examine the people. In the evening, he was acting all grumpy. He said, we've been walking around all day. I'm tired. Let me go to sleep first. They were lying next to each other, but the atmosphere was tense. She asked, are you really tired? He hesitantly replied, actually, I'm not that tired. They slowly held hands. Honestly, this screenwriter is so cheesy. It's infuriating. She asked, should we continue getting ready? He said, actually, there are some things you don't need to get ready for. Just as they were about to get busy, someone knocked on the door. It was Tang Ping. The little girl told her that Ling Rui was there, so she came and booked a room right next to them. The soundproofing wasn't good, so even though they were in 2 rooms, it was as if they were sharing a room and having a conversation. Tang Ping even played opera music loudly throughout the night. He told his wife, "Why don't we just call it a day? Don't force yourself." They turned off the lights and went to sleep. The next morning, they teased each other. Tang Ping said she was there to make sure they weren't up to no good, and to stop Ling Rui from getting a word in. When Tang Ping left angrily, she ran into a crazed fan. She was scared and clung to Fang Ning. She said, "At first I thought he was a fan, but his actions were getting scarier." She hugged Fang Ning and cried, asking her to save her. Fang Ning said, "If you don't shut up, I'll leave." After that, she told Tang Ping to go change into beautiful clothes to lure him out. While waiting for Tang Ping, Ling Rui finished his work and came to find her for dinner, but she said she had something to take care of and would find him later. He thought she was angry and that he had disappointed her, so he followed her. Meanwhile, Tang Ping went to wait for him and fell for his trap and was secretly photographed. Everything was captured on camera, so there was no escaping. The pervert couldn't have been more blatant. Ling Rui was stuck and had to accept defeat. That night, Fang Ning acted crazy and praised her husband. "It's so cringy." Then Ling Rui said he had to leave. Fang Ning immediately became a pillar for Tang Ping to lean on. They went back to Tang Ping's room and drank. Tang Ping was completely drunk, but she still managed to see the couple getting intimate. She cried and said, "Why didn't you tell me where you were going? You're so evil. Since I was little, I've wanted to be your friend, but you always bullied me. Everyone loves you and I do too." They put Tang Ping to bed, but her hand was still tightly grasping Fang Ning's. She was so upset. Her silly friend had ruined their romantic evening. She told him to come over and demanded a kiss. He conveniently covered Tang Ping's head with a blanket and kissed her sweetly. Tang Ping woke up the next morning and decided to pack up and go home. She said, "I've had enough of your lovey-dovey. I'm leaving." Later, Fang Ning found out that the lucky coin Ling Rui had given her was something he liked to give to people he liked. She had dropped it, but he had picked it up. When he found her at the beach, she remembered the story from that day. They kissed passionately. They say that behind the scenes, they were laughing. The director didn't yell cut, so he was passionate and kissed her until he was drooling. The next day, her crew arrived. It was no wonder he was her husband. Every photo was perfect, and he looked good even in casual clothes. He was once known as the Prince of Shanghai advertising, but now he doesn't like to be called that. "Honey, my sense of shame is gone. Haha." Back at the company, ER Fan had been plotting for a long time, pushing Fang Ning into a difficult situation. He made her give up her position to ER Fan because she was worried about everyone at Deersing and all the personnel from the two companies she was working with. It turned out that this guy was her sister's boyfriend from back then. He hated Fang Ning because he blamed her for her sister's death because of her stubborn childish attitude and desire for people to do things her way. She hurt Ling Rui. Ling Rui also received an invitation from a research institute in Germany, but he hadn't had a chance to tell his wife and was planning to talk to them about postponing the trip. It was a sensitive time. He needed and wanted to be with Fang Ning. He considered Fang Ning so important to him that he made Peng Bo go crazy. Because Ling Rui was silent about it, it was as if he had directly given up. He even stopped a video interview, missing a chance to go to her side and be her support. That night, she told him, "I'm going to be broke and have to take care of a lot of people in my family." He told her, "Everything will be okay. Even if I don't have as much money as you, I'm not poor either." She felt relieved. "It's so good. I'm lucky to have a husband like you." She snuggled up to Ling Rui like a child. Ling Rui's mother found out about the situation, and she only wished she could talk to Ling Rui and persuade him because he had worked so hard for this opportunity. But unexpectedly, after all that, she chose to leave and even helped him go to Germany to study. He went crazy looking for her. Really, she still loves him, so why must they be separated? This is truly playing with people's emotions. It's so painful. 6 years later, in a foreign country, Fang Ning had a son named Lu Yu. He was very smart and sensible, and always knew what he wanted to do. So he asked his mother's associate, Shen Zhou, to take him back to China to find his father. The only clue was a stuffed animal with his father's face on it. So Fang Ning quickly flew back with her son. She met him and asked, "Who gave you the courage to do this? I've never hit you, so you don't know what it's like to be afraid, right?" He said, "It was my mom." Then he said, "I'm big now. The doll with Dad's face on it can't satisfy me anymore. Mom, you have to let me see Dad soon." But she just said that they were going back tomorrow. So he threw a tantrum because he knew his mom's biggest fear was for Lu Yu to cry and throw a fit. She gave in to him. For the past 6 years, Fang Ning hadn't told Ling Rui where she was because his life was starting a new chapter, and she didn't want to bother him. And just like that, 6 years passed, and even now, she still thought that maybe Ling Rui had a new life and a new happiness by now, and had probably forgotten about her. What would he do if she went to find him with her son? She came back to China to cooperate with Hong Kong Shenzhen University to hold a brand exhibition. Coincidentally, she was at the same university where Ling Rui was a visiting professor. After he finished his lecture, a student ran up to him, shoved a piece of paper in his hand, and asked if he had a girlfriend. He raised his hand, which was wearing a ring, and that was the end of that. Those students are crazy about guys. He's a professor now. Usually they're married with kids by now. He wouldn't be single unless he was an exceptionally picky guy. If he was, it's not their turn yet. Haha. On her way, she bumped into a student, and just as he was walking toward her, she tried to avoid him. But she bumped into the student instead. Wow, he's still so handsome after all these years. What's going on? She paid for the student's meal and rushed away. Back home, she was overwhelmed and angrily yelled at the director and editor. How come this is so coincidental? Why did I run into him so soon? Did he call you and say he saw me? How could he just ignore me? He must have been so happy to see me. We must have ended up exchanging pleasantries, and that's it. No way. How could he be so promiscuous? Ling Rui is like an angel. Yes, he is. So Fang Ning, don't be afraid. The next day, she asked for directions to the medical school. She went into the cafeteria to buy something and ran into him. He walked up to greet her, and, seeing that she wasn't in a good mood, he asked her to have coffee with him. But he also told her to drink less coffee because of her bad stomach. Then he left. She was stunned and didn't know what he meant. Why would he suddenly be concerned about her stomach? While she was sitting in a corner thinking, he appeared again, saying that he had taken her project by mistake and came to return it. Since it was after work, he sat down to talk to her. Meanwhile, Lu Yu was being taken care of by a young guy. The boy was about to get sick because he was so bored. He called for his mom, but she was busy talking to Ling Rui and didn't answer. He turned to her and asked, "When are you going back to China?" "I came back by myself." He also congratulated her on having a successful brand. She couldn't figure out what he meant by that. Was he asking about Lu Yu? Then she stood up decisively and apologized to him. "I'm to blame for everything. I married you unilaterally, and then I divorced you unilaterally. I'm just back to take care of some work, then I'm leaving. I won't bother you, I won't be a nuisance." He stood up and said, "Don't misunderstand what just happened. I don't mean anything else." "So what do you mean?" She was so confused and ran away. Back home, Lu Yu was angry because she hadn't answered his calls and was an hour late picking him up. He complained about all sorts of things that had happened at the guy's house, but he was very good and didn't make her worry anymore. She lay there thinking about what had happened and suddenly woke up. She looked over and saw him again. It turned out she had mistaken her son for him. Lu Yu laughed and said, "Mom, your face is red. You can fry eggs on your face." So she said to herself, "This world is so full of temptation. I can't be seduced by his beauty." She hugged her son and said, "Lu Yu, let's go home soon. This place is too dangerous." So she sped up her work and then quickly packed her things. Knowing that his current tantrum wouldn't work, the little guy was angry and stormed off. Shenjiu came to the house, cried, begged for forgiveness, and then told her the good news that an art district had contacted him, hoping that their brand would join their district. He had already been to do a site survey, and it was perfect for their brand. Would Fang Ning agree? She said yes. Then she ran to Lu Yu and apologized. "You got what you wanted. We're not leaving." Then the little guy became happy again. He said, "Mom said she was going to leave me here all alone. That really hurt my little heart. Don't say things like that about leaving me again. Mom, apologize to me." "I apologize, Lu Yu. I won't say that again. You're forgiven. Go warm up some milk for me. Thank you for being so forgiving. But in return, you have to be good at home if I don't allow you to go out." The next day, she went to meet with a partner with Shen Zhou. It turned out that Ling Rui had been supporting her behind the scenes, probably to keep her from leaving. Shen Zhou asked if that was Lu Yu's father. She said she didn't want him to know she and Ling Rui had a child, so she was keeping it a secret. Shen Zhou was about to leave, but she pulled him back. But he really had to go get his cast removed, and she insisted on going with him to be his family member. He said, "All right, let's go." When they got there, she pretended to have a stomachache and wanted to leave. Then he took his wife back to his office to examine her. When they got back, she said, "I must have been wrong. My stomach's just a little upset." He said calmly, "Let me give you some medicine just in case." She asked, "You still remember?" He said, "Of course, you're my wife with the milky skin and diamond heart." Then he said, "Fang Ning, my phone number hasn't changed." Meanwhile, Shen Zhou finished up and went to pick up Lu Yu. Just as Ling Rui's two aunts were shopping for furniture at Deersing, they ran into Lu Yu and Shen Zhou. They misunderstood them as father and son. The little boy was looking for his dad. His mom used to work there, so he thought he could find his dad here. Even though they were no longer related, Ling Rui's aunts were very upset and went back home. Ling Rui was in a great mood today because he had seen his wife. He told his aunts that he had seen Fang Ning. Then his older aunt angrily said, Ling Rui. Fang Ning has forgotten about you a long time ago. She had a son with another man. We saw them today. Ling Rui was extremely sad. He grabbed his jacket and went to Fang Ning's house. As soon as Lu Yu saw him, he called him Mr. Stuffed Animal. Shen Jiu quickly said, "This is my son." He was very sad, but he still asked the little boy, "Your mom, is she Fang Ning?" The little boy said, "Yes, Mr. Stuffed Animal." Hearing this, he turned and left immediately. Shen Jiu said to Lu Yu, "For our two little lives, don't tell your mom, okay?" He was so upset that he even ignored her text inviting him to dinner. She was wondering all night if his phone number or hers was broken. Today was the weekend. Mom promised to take Lu Yu to the amusement park. He was so sad he even made a dish. And even the people eating could tell he wasn't in a good mood. But his aunt still advised him to go on a blind date. He was so sad, he went to make the whole family happy. When he got there, he found out that the girl he was supposed to meet was his classmate from medical school. They agreed to tell their families that they weren't a match, because she wasn't worthy of him. She said, "That's okay." And then Ling Rui saw Fang Ning and her son walking by. You know how Lu Yu is, and he's also very intelligent, so he went ahead and did something. Fang Ning was flustered and ran after him. "Lu, you ran up to him and said, 'Daddy.'" He asked her, "Do you know my dad? What's your relationship?" Fang Ning ran over, and he yelled, "Mommy. This is so coincidental. We met Daddy." Then she asked him how he knew this was his father. He was surprised, and asked if he was his son. They took Lu Yu home. He said, "Go in first. Uncle needs to talk to mommy." Lu Yu said, "Uncle, don't bully my mommy." Actually, he was very nervous. He felt like Ling Rui was very angry. He asked, "Is Lu Yu our son?" She nodded and said, "He's 5 years old." He shouldn't be so shocked, asking why she didn't tell him, and why she chose to do everything on her own. "Do you know what you're doing?" "Fang Ning," she said, "I didn't want to interfere with your life, but I made the decision for you." She really still didn't understand. Then he left. The shot of him walking away was perfect. Fang Ning called Yi Yao and told that Ling Rui knew about the existence of Lu Yu. That night, she asked Lu Yu, "You really want a dad, right?" The little boy said, "Precious time, don't waste words, Mom." She asked, "What if Daddy doesn't want us?" He said, "If Dad doesn't like Mom, I don't need that dad anymore. We can find another dad." What a wonderful son. Then she realized he had a fever, so she took him to the hospital. She was holding Lu Yu, so it was inconvenient to pay and get a number. She even dropped her bag and wallet. Then her husband came out to help her pick them up and carry their son. When they took him in for an examination, the doctor asked, "Is he family? He's so adorable." But they didn't say anything. He just looked at his wife in concern and felt sorry for her. Then she found out that Yi Yao had called for him to help them. He said, "Lu Yu is so sensible. You've taken good care of him." She said, "I can take care of him by myself. You go back to work." A while later, he came back to bring her food, but she was asleep. Lu Yu had just woken up. His dad sat down and talked to him. "Actually, I knew you were my son a long time ago. I really wanted Dad, but I didn't want to make Mom sad. I know she misses Dad too." He kissed his son on the forehead. The next morning, they were getting ready to be discharged. The nurse praised the boy, saying he was so adorable. He said, "Thank you. That's my son." Lu Yu yelled, "Daddy, carry me. He really looks like his mother." He successfully persuaded his dad. A while later, she called Ling Rui to talk to him. When they met, she stood there and said, "It's all my fault. I hurt you and your son. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do everything I can to make up for your father-son relationship." He said, "Well, I have an idea. I hope you'll give me custody of Lu Yu. Because of my work and current living environment, it's more suitable for me. It's really hard to find a boyfriend with a kid around. It's a waste of your youth. It's the best option." She protested. "We can increase the time we see each other. I'm not going abroad anymore. I'm going to stay in China and contribute to my country. I'll be the one to bring him to your house, because I don't want to be bothered with litigation." He said, "I'll be home waiting for you." Then he left. She was waiting at home, and then Lu Yu arrived. He said things that made the adults fall in love with him. He praised the house. "It's so nice. The young lady is so young. I'll call her sister." He praised the older lady and grandma, saying they were beautiful too. All three of them were so happy, they forgot everything else. Ling Rui was about to explain who the little boy was when it was time to eat. He demanded chicken, hamburgers, fried chicken, and French fries, but everyone tried to convince him to eat home-cooked food. Ling Rui fed him vegetables. He also said he wouldn't eat the other food. Nothing was as good as what Daddy cooked. While they were enjoying themselves, everyone was taken aback and yelled, "Daddy?" Then the mom admitted that she had gone to see Fang Ning that year, but she didn't expect her to choose to leave. She chose to have the baby and raise him on her own. But now there's a grandson who brings so much joy, so it's not too painful anymore. It's just that she finally admitted it, and he got the short end of the stick. That night, Lu Yu said to him, "Mom and Dad are really great. She didn't see me for 5 years, but she still thought about my feelings. Is Daddy still worried if Lu Yu misses Mommy?" But Lu Yu is very sensible. "I'll be good with Dad. I won't miss Mom at all." Everyone was so touched by their father-son bond, they were all gushing over them. Ling Rui answered the phone and said, "I promised I would take Lu Yu out to play." Lu Yu said, "It's okay. I want to go to the hospital. I want to see where Dad works. Oh, he's so cute." The next morning, he went to the hospital. Lu Yu was like a mini heartthrob, making everyone love him. He asked everyone to watch over Lu Yu for him. That night, the father and son slept next to each other. He woke up and went to see how she was doing, but she was already asleep. He thought back to everything that had happened in this house and was heartbroken. He could see what had happened the day she left. Seeing him cry makes me so sad. The next morning, she went to the school to attend their design exhibition. He took Lu Yu to his place to see his aunts. He intentionally bought flowers to go congratulate her. When he got there, he saw Shen Jia with his arm around her, so he ran up to them and brushed the crumbs off his wife's clothes. He also deliberately showed everyone that he was Lu Yu's dad. He explained that he didn't want his son to call someone else Daddy. After the meeting, everyone went to eat and drink. Ling Rui followed them. When he saw that she was drunk, he pulled her aside to talk. She was teary-eyed and said, "You've changed and I've changed, so I've thought it over carefully. Do whatever you want. No matter who you want to be with, you don't have to tell me. And Lu Yu is very good. You don't have to worry. I won't cling to you anymore." This was so bland, my heart sank. He stood up and said, "Fang Ning, you've always been like this. You come when you want, and you leave when you want. So this time, are you going to take Lu Yu with you and leave me without a word again? Listen closely. Lu Yu is our son. Don't you dare take him away again. You can't leave me anymore. Let's get back together." He told her to pick up Lu Yu tomorrow, but she was still unclear if he was saying this because he was drunk or if she was misremembering. The next morning, he confirmed it. "We are really getting back together. We are a good match. Everything about us is right." The two of them picked up Lu Yu and went to the supermarket. It was so cute. The little guy wanted to eat fries, but his mom said no. He told his dad, "Mommy must be poor, that's why she won't buy me fries." So he bargained with his son. "You can either hold Dad's hand and buy vegetables, or hold Mom's hand and we'll go pay." So the little boy went with his mom. Back home, Lu Yu hugged his dad and said, "Thank you for accepting Mom. I'm going to tell Dad that Mom is bullying me." She said, "You too. Now you have Dad to protect you, right? Dad, can't you sleep with me tonight? Mom's grown up now. She doesn't need you to sleep with her. Mom, you're so useless. You're letting Dad sleep with me tonight." So that night, she slept in a separate bed. It was so sweet. I thought they were going to get busy tonight, but he just kissed her on the forehead and said, "I'm tired tonight. I'm going to sleep first." Then he took her hand. The next morning, while they were having breakfast, he heard about her meeting with Shenju that day and cleared the table to take her to work. As soon as they finished work, he went to see Er Fan. It was so coincidental, and it made Ling Rui very worried. Just like Ling Rui had feared, the two sides couldn't sign a contract to reserve space for her to display her products. He even sent people to vandalize her products. She ran to find Er Fan. After a while of arguing, she just said, "You're the brother my sister loved the most. I don't want every time you think of my sister, all you feel is pain. Fang Ning won't stop you from seeking revenge, but I hope you'll target me. Don't hurt anyone else or involve anyone else. But if you persist, I'll play with you till the end." She was exhausted and went home to rest. Ling Rui was reading a book to Lu Yu when he remembered that his wife's birthday was coming up soon. The next morning, he cooked a lavish meal, but before she ate, she had to promise him 3 things. 1. She had to trust him. 2. When could they register for marriage? 3. He loved her. She held out her hand to him, and he took it. He corrected her. "I love you." She was happy and hugged him, saying, "I love you," repeatedly. They kissed, and the little boy was thrown back into his room. He went to find Peng Bo and Yi Yao to ask for their help. They were going to throw Fang Ning a birthday party. He wanted her to overcome everything so that every year, on this day, she would truly be happy. And most importantly, he was going to propose to her. But they argued, and then the two men disagreed and sat there bickering. It wasn't until then that she found out that the incident at the exhibition was done by someone else, not Er Fan. She felt guilty. So Ling Rui took the initiative to text Er Fan, inviting him to his wife's birthday party. Today was his wife's birthday. He took her to the amusement park. She thought he was going to propose to her, but no, Lu Yu was there, so her dream was shattered. After the couple left, everyone got busy preparing. Fang Ning's parents and brother came back from abroad, and all three of Ling Rui's aunts came too. The scene was very lively. As soon as the couple returned, everyone started making a fuss. They turned off the lights and hid under the table, playing tag, and no one could get out. This time, everything they had prepared was ruined. After that, it was very touching. Everyone hugged each other and wished Fang Ning a happy birthday. For a long time, she hadn't enjoyed the sight of her husband and son hugging her. "I wish I had a husband." Oh, so sad. They cleaned up and arranged a cozy birthday party for her. When they brought out the cake, I almost fainted. It was one of a kind. ER Fan arrived. It was a happy day. Everyone happily greeted him. ER Fan felt as if he had seen Fang Ning's sister again. She said, "All your wishes have come true." Then she disappeared. He looked at Lu Yu and said, "It seems you already know." Then he left. I don't know why, but I feel like every time he looks at his wife, it's as if he wants to kiss her. As everyone left the party, she couldn't find Ling Rui, so she went looking for him. She came to a place with so many lights and a very romantic atmosphere, filled with pictures of the two of them. The lights would turn on as she walked. He knelt down and proposed to her. He had melted the old ring he had taken with him and the lucky coin together to propose to her, but she still had the old ring, so now she had two. One was from her husband, Ling Rui, and the other was from her boyfriend, Ling Rui. Now they couldn't escape each other, and he pulled her in to kiss her. A while later, ER Fan decided to give all his assets to Lu Yu. Ling Rui had an interview today. He praised his wife a lot, and even appeared on the cover of a magazine. She bought many copies, and filled her husband's office with them. She told Lu Yu, "This is to prevent your dad's handsomeness from harming anyone else." The whole family was so touched. They are so happy now. They are hugging each other. "I'm so envious." He told his wife, "I need you by my side during both the good times and the bad, when I'm hurt, when I'm weak, when I succeed, and when I fail." She agreed, and promised to be by his side. But wait, what about when you're ugly and old and not handsome anymore? He looked at her, his eyes full of adoration, and was about to kiss her when their son ran in, demanding to sleep with them. The whole family was together. It was truly a happy picture. The end. I just want to say that I've chosen this kind of man. The movie was so cute. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe.